A brilliant start for the second half of the Indian T20 League. Chennai finally managed to beat Mumbai. So we are back here and we'll talk all about it here at Timeout with Sports Adda. Well, Arun, I'm wearing a yellow just to make sure that we are in line with what happened.
I have woken up, I have gone through my entire suitcase to see if I can find something yellow. I did not, but you have not disappointed me. There's a bit of yellow. Go Chennai.
Finally, Chennai have managed to beat Mumbai, and it's not just a close win; it's a dominating win in a shorter format. And coming back in a situation where it was so tricky, 3-4 wickets down early, they must be really happy yesterday.
I'm going to make a bold call here. We spoke about it yesterday about teams having to beat the best to win titles. I think
Yeah.
Chennai have just done that. I mean, I'm going to jump the gun here and say this could be Chennai's title this season. But yes, I mean, it was a bizarre match yesterday. I mean, what a start that was. Chennai were what? I'm just looking at the scorecard. 7 for 3, 24 for 4 at one point. Three
And
of
when
the
Raidu
top
gone,
four
it was
made
five.
ducks, Akhil.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
go,
I
go.
mean, I meant Raidu was injured, so they were effectively one more wicket down, and it
Yeah.
was it was like the entire batting top order had collapsed. So in fact, you and we had predicted that in our first review, if you remember, where we had said that in case Adam Milne plays and he has a go at the middle order, which is not played too much cricket, it could be fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, but I don't know if Chennai fans enjoyed it. Those first 3-4 overs, Akhil. I mean, it made you sit and take notice. Honestly, Trent Bolt, even Trent Bolt got the ball to rear up on a couple of occasions, and Adam Milne was breathing fire, absolutely breathing fire.
What would this kind of an innings do for a confidence of a Ruturaj Gaikwad? I was just trying to imagine. I watched his post-match interview also. Seems like a very soft-spoken guy. For him
Hmm.
to play a innings, he scored more than 50% of the team's runs. Battled well so under pressure, and then changed gears in the end, thrashing Bumrah.
I
He
know.
must be on.
So happy for Ruturaj Gaikwad. Some of the strokes he played, the sixes he hit, Akhil. I mean, not easy those shots, but to do it
Yeah.
against Bumrah at a stage where Chennai were reeling, brilliant innings, absolutely brilliant innings, and brilliant start to the season.
Absolutely brilliant start. Before we quickly talk about the Mumbai part of the innings, Arun, I wanted to throw in, and I was going to discuss this with you, is how important is it to get players into a tournament where they've just recently played? I saw the top half of the Chennai batting couldn't cope up with the intensity probably, but when Dwayne Bravo came into bat, those 20-22 runs that he hit off those 8 balls with those sixes, that was the difference between the two teams' victory, isn't it? The margin, victory margin. And he was
20
just
runs in
coming
the
off
end.
a exactly. He was just coming off having played a lot of T20 cricket just 5-6 days ago. He's come here after winning a tournament. So having those players come in and give you those impact performances so crucial.
Absolutely spot on. It's important to have men in form. Faf du Plessis was also the same. Uh, like we spoke about KL Rahul in one of the test matches, du Plessis been in brilliant form. I think he played that stroke because he's in form. If it had been the start of the season, maybe he'd left it alone. But yeah, to have men in form come and deliver the goods, brilliant. Absolutely. I really have no words, Akhil, after last night's show.
Yeah, you're just beaming. But what about Mumbai? I mean, without Rohit
Couple of
Sharma and
things I
Hardik
want. Couple
Pandya.
of things before we get to Mumbai, Akhil. Just looking at Ruturaj Gaikwad's scores, yeah, he scored 6 half centuries so far. All six of them have been in wins. So I mean, clearly he's a player of two halves. I'm looking at his career just now. Uh,
Hmm.
First three innings were 0-5-0. That's when MS Dhoni came out and said, something about youngsters perhaps not being ready or whatever. That probably spurred him on. That probably spurred youngsters in the Chennai dressing room, and look what's happened now. Six half centuries, all of them in wins. The other thing I want to mention about, which we spoke about yesterday, MS Dhoni's captaincy again. The one review he got spot on, when it looked like a 50-50 call, and to bring on Josh Hazelwood to bowl against Kyron Pollard. I thought that was a top move.
Absolutely top move. Also, if you see, I don't know if you caught it on camera, there was a straight deep long off for Kyron Pollard when he came into bat. So there was again a well thought out strategy. The moment he hit Jadeja for that long six, immediately Hazelwood came back, and that was the wicket that they needed, right? Again,
Mhm.
Pollard coming into the tournament as a form player. The moment they got Pollard out, it opened the doors for them.
That was the wicket. That was the game-changing wicket. That was the match-winning wicket. Really, 10 more balls of Pollard, he would have walked away with the match. But good for Chennai.
Also,
That
Also, this won't be mentioned in the man of the match performances or anything, but we spoke about the opening bowlers for Chennai also, Deepak Chahar
Deepak
and
Chahar.
Shardul Thakur. Not necessarily the opening bowlers yesterday, but both of them did their job yesterday. They came back, picked up wickets, they did the job. Those two having them in your team is an invaluable thing. Both of them can bat. They can come and deliver the slower ones and bowl under pressure, and obviously very very important.
Deepak Chahar's first spell will always be important, and he gave you those breakthroughs yesterday. And Shardul Thakur's been the most improved white ball cricketer I've seen in India. Now, for somebody who is considered a red ball specialist, there's something about him. He's worked on it consciously, and like you said, can bat, can add crucial, and like we saw in the Test series as well. And now with the ball, with the bat, welcome to have him in the Chennai lineup. Now we spoke about MS
Okay.
Dhoni. I thought we missed Rohit Sharma yesterday.
Rohit Sharma, obviously, as a captain, you miss him. But I thought having two new people in the batting order in Mumbai just couldn't cope up. I had thought they'd break down by having maybe Kunal up higher up the order, just because he's so experienced and he's delivered for them in the past. But I mean, obviously, you can't replace Rohit Sharma and Hardik Pandya in a lineup. It is not possible. Uh, I don't know. Do you think Mumbai would be a little concerned? I don't know if they'll be really concerned. They are a champion team. I know they have the capacity to come back. So probably this will be a thing where they got out that losing streak. They treated like a losing streak of a new season, like they always lose. So I think they've got it out of the way.
No, but it's different, Akhil. Mumbai are currently four out of 8, so they've won four, lost four, and this can't continue for too long. It's they've only got 6 more games left, so they've got to get those wins under the belt now. I mean, it's only one day of the second part of the season, but Mumbai cannot afford to sit back and say that okay, we'll take it slow because this is a shortened season. And don't worry, next match is Kolkata. They'll do well. They won't even bother
Yeah.
over it.
Yes, and before we move out of this match, Arun, one last point I wanted to talk to you, and I'm sure the Indian selectors will also be sweating under it. Hardik Pandya didn't play yesterday. They have picked him in the team as a bowling all rounder, who they are hoping will give them 4 overs. He's only got 5 matches now to bowl and show what kind of form he is in before directly playing the T20 World Cup. I'm sure the selectors and Virat Kohli will be just waiting to see how he's going to be delivering those 4 overs or 3 overs, 2 overs, whatever he bowls.
There's still at least 3 more weeks, a little over 3 weeks, so I think he should be fine. I mean, if it's a bit of a worry, it's a bit of a concern, yes, but I think we will see Hardik bowl at some point during the tournament.
Okay, yes. So
Finally,
we've
finally, before we'll use this bit as a segue to the next game. Who's at the top of the table?
yes, I know. I mean, your favorite team is at the top of the table, and that is something. It's a
It's
great
not
thing
just
for.
me beaming. Okay, look at the man in that photograph. He's beaming as well.
Yes, he wasn't beaming yesterday on the ground after that dropped catch, but it's good to see a Dhoni beaming in this photograph.
Yeah. Look at the number. 6 wins, 2 losses, yes, but look at the net run rate as well. We always talk about net run rate being crucial in this competition. And look at where Chennai are sitting right now. Brilliant. This has been the best start to my day in recent times.
All right,
But
great.
today, I mean, looking ahead, sorry, looking ahead, today we've got a big game. It's three playing seven.
Three playing seven, and again after the important announcement that came out yesterday, where Virat Kohli put out that post on social media, and Bangalore announced that this will be his last season as captain. There will be a lot of interest today. Social media will be buzzing about how Virat comes. Will he play with a little more passion than what is possible now? Will he want to play each match as if like he's going to win it off his own bat? Uh, so I think he likes playing against this team. Also, I think he likes playing against Kolkata. So a big match coming up for both the teams.
Let's address that one first. I mean, it's the in thing, if I can call it.
Yeah.
I expected this move. I was telling our producer just a little while ago that we come up with some numbers, and Virat just beat us, by one day. Had we put out these numbers and had Virat announced that he's stepping now, it would have been brilliant. But let's look at Virat's captaincy record in recent years. He's brilliant in his records, fabulous in T20 internationals. So since 2018, 23 wins, lost 10, win percentage 66. You cannot argue with that. He's not won a title, but you cannot argue with that. But look at in the Indian Premier League, the Indian T20 competition, same number of wins, 23. Look at the number of matches he's captained in,
Mm,
50. And look at the number of losses, 26. That's the problem. A, they've not been able to win, and B,
mm,
where are the titles for an Indian captain? Uh, Bangalore have been disappointing, to put it mildly.
mm. And you've culled out these stats which are absolutely spot on. And 2018, you've still set a benchmark. But the numbers even before 2018, except for that one season where they qualified for the finals, will not be great. And you're right. I mean, the expectations from an Indian captain to be leading is immense. So, I mean, yes, he's taken this break on his own. I'm sure it'll be a lot of mental pressure off, because just the pressure of handling press conferences, practice sessions, attending meetings, and I don't think Bangalore owners are still going to be as heavily involved as the other team owners. So, but it just wears you down. So I'm sure there must be something that he must have thought through.
Which is why I find this surprising. I would have preferred if Virat Kohli had left the captaincy of Bangalore and instead retained the captaincy of the Indian T20 side. And I'll tell you why. No, it's 14 matches in the Indian T20 league, right? That's the pressure. 14 matches of 14 matches crammed into a window. Like you mentioned, press conferences, media, and your sponsor commitments, all of that. That's pressure. But with India, India played 10, 12 T20s in a year. And that's now in the year of a World Cup. That's not as much pressure, and that's spread over a year. So it's a bit surprising to see Virat step down from both. I would have preferred if he had stepped down from the Bangalore franchise and continued, or at least reviewed it at the end of the World Cup. Let me put it that way.
Interesting. Okay, so while we can go on and on about Virat Kohli captaincy, what about today's game? What do you think where Bangalore and Kolkata are now? I mean, last game that they played, it was a Maxwell show, if you remember. Both the teams clashed, and Bangalore have dominated Kolkata over the last few years, isn't it?
And I think that trend will continue. I think if we look at the head to head between these two teams, uh, it's 14-13 Kolkata right now. But
Hmm.
I think, if you look at the last five, it's 4-1 in favor of Bangalore. And I think that will continue. I think that will be 5-1 at the end of tonight's game. Uh, Kolkata don't have. I don't see. I don't know. There's something about Kolkata, at least based on what we saw in the first leg of the tournament. I don't
Hmm.
think they have the resources. I don't think they have the personnel. You could look at a Narayan, you could look at Andre Russell, you could look at, I don't know, Varun Chakravarti, but where's the batting? I mean, Nitish Rana, Shubman Gill, uh, On Morgan, uh, the batting, I don't know, Rahul Tripathi, not sufficient for me. I mean, I
They're
could be
just not
proved wrong,
working
but
out.
no,
No,
not
what you're
enough.
saying is based on pure stats, and I am on with it. We spoke about some numbers of the openers for both the things, and you're right, the stats for Shubman Gill and for others in the Kolkata camp is not so great. Nitish Rana striking at 122, Shubman Gill striking at 117. Not pretty numbers for a team. Uh, Same with
These are
Virat.
interesting numbers. We've looked at the openers on both sides. The reason I'm not sure. Well, Nitish Rana, 7 matches, 201 runs, yes, but he got two half centuries in the first two innings of the season. That's about 110, 120 runs. And the next
Yeah.
five innings, he's hardly got 60, 70 runs. So Nitish Rana should look at this as another start to the season because that's where he does well. Hopefully that will work for him. But Shubman Gill, I don't know, how much he has recovered. He didn't seem to belong at the crease in that first part of the season. Scoring at 117. He's a far better player than that. I mean, he's got all the shots in the book. It's about liberating himself in the head, Akhil. I think that's what's needed. Somebody needs to sit down with him and say, you know, please don't play like a KL Rahul plays. KL Rahul can accelerate. KL Rahul's got those gears. Shubman Gill cannot. I don't think he's at that stage where he can accelerate through the inning. In a T20 format, he needs to go from ball one.
I'm surprised with a team that is being like coached by Brendan McCullum. The openers are having a strike rate like that. I mean, you look at the teams which have been winning, the openers, at least one opener has to have a go, right? From the start. That's how England have been playing. That's how KL Rahul does for India. West Indies internationally have shown the openers have to play, say, 140, 150 strike rate, at least attempt that. So this is a good stat that you pick to show that the openers need to get a move on because I mean down the order they have one of the biggest match winners, in form match winners for this year, who deserves to get a lot of overs to play. I mean, with Russell in your team, Arun, you should not be losing so many matches.
No, with Russell and Dinesh Karthik. Let's not overlook Dinesh Karthik, Akhil. Dinesh Karthik doesn't get as much recognition or credit for his batting, but he's a finisher. He's a proven finisher. His strike rate, this year is about 150 or so. How many batsmen, in that KKR lineup or Kolkata lineup can boast of having a 150 strike rate this year? So they've
Yeah.
got two good finishers. Let's look at Russell briefly, and I'm bringing up Russell because you mentioned it, and also
Yeah.
because he's an important cog. Look at what he's done, Akhil. The first phase of the Indian T20 league, two aspects to it.
Wow.
One is the strike rate, right? But look at the number of overs bowled and wickets. So 7 matches, 10 overs only, 7 wickets. Economy of 11.
Hmm.
But thereafter, look at what he's done. He's scoring runs quicker, strike rate of 176, 24 matches, 59 overs, which means he's bowling more. He's picking up wickets as well.
Hmm.
And this is the kind of player Kolkata will want, a complete all rounder. Russell, I mean, it's obvious, but not having the Russell who can bowl is only of half value to the team.
Yeah, looks like he's put all his injury concerns behind him, and he must be bowling that round the wicket
I
lines,
am
which
actually touching wood. I'm actually touching wood. I hope he stays that way. It's good
yeah,
for
we want to
Kolkata, good
see
for the
Andre
World
Russell.
Cup.
Yeah, we want to see Andre Russell and hitting those, smashing those sixes, bowling those round the wicket lines in the end and cramping batsmen up. He's a complete package, great for international cricket, great for us fans to watch and like keep cheering him on. So I hope they give him enough platform, they give him enough overs to come and bat and try and win the games.
Russell should come in after the 13th or 14th over. I mean, anytime a wicket falls, anytime there's an opportunity, 13th over, send Russell in. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Two other players
And
we've got to quickly Two other players we've got to quickly talk about, Akhil. One is Sunil Narayan. I'm looking forward to him. Uh, I watched him bowl in the CPL. His actions changed for obvious reason, but he's become
again,
more effective.
Wow, a strike rate of 4.37 in a
Economy of
20 over
4.37,
format.
yeah. Economy of 4.37, Akhil. 4.37 across a season of CPL.
Wow, and these are like amazing. What I mean, but knowing the Kolkata team, Arun, they already are having a multitude. They have many options of spinners, right? I mean, Sunil Narayan, if he opens, then he gets a pick. But do you think he'll be able to find a spot?
I think Sunil Narayan will play, especially in this form.
Hmm.
Given the conditions, I think he will play uh, more as a bowler than as a batsman. So he will play. Uh,
Hmm.
you spoke about options. I don't know. I don't know how many options they have. We can count three or four. There's Varun Chakravarti who will play, who's in
Yeah.
India's World Cup squad, and he's their primary spinner, if I can so call it. So he will play. I don't know. I
Yeah.
there's a bit of mystery about Kuldeep Yadav. We don't know what's happening. We'll hear more about that in the coming days and weeks.
Yeah.
Shakib Al Hassan is an interesting option as well, but I don't know how they'll fit him in. So Sunil Narayan will play.
Hmm. I was figuring Ian Morgan as a overseas first overseas player, Andre Russell as a second one. So those two are definitely going to play. I the replacement for Pat Cummins, we don't know who they will fit into the team now because he again was a certainty to play. If
Ferguson,
Shakib
Saudi,
plays,
I'm leaning towards Ferguson.
impact player capable of picking you wickets. So Morgan, Russell, Shakib is are the three that I know. I think will definitely play.
Shakib is not a starter in my books. Not at the moment. Maybe a couple of matches down the line. Maybe. If
Hmm.
you can look at the Kolkata lineup from the last game, if you can talk about it briefly, uh,
Yeah,
there was Rana, Gill, Tripathi, Morgan, Narayan, Russell, Karthik, Cummins, Varun Chakravarti, Prasidh Krishna, and Shivam Mavi. So there's Cummins, Russell, Narayan, Morgan. That's what they had. Uh,
yeah.
I'm tempted to just swap Cummins out. Obviously, if he's not there, so bring Lockie Ferguson in. Rest of it will continue.
Interesting. I really hope Kolkata finds some gear because they need to start moving up into the points table, start creating some trouble for the other teams. They're such an important cog, in terms of the fan support, the kind of cricket that McCallum and his teams have played over the years. It's just fun to watch, and we need a revival from the Kolkata team. They need to start gradually moving up the table.
It's a very proud brand, Akhil. Knight Riders is a very proud brand. They have a very proud owner. I was listening to Mr. Venki Mysore, the CEO of the Knight Riders, a couple of days ago, and he spoke about, as a franchise, as an establishment, how they take a lot of pride and it gives them satisfaction. So it's the same. I mean, they need to win. The Trinbago Knight Riders have done well. They didn't win this year, but
Yeah.
they've won so many titles in the last 3-4 years. I think four titles in 6 seasons or something like that. Kolkata cannot slip because this is their headquarters. Kolkata is the headquarters, so they need to win. One last thing before we wrap. I think we've gone too long. Got to speak about Owen Morgan. Disappointing as a batsman, disappointing as a captain. And what are astonishing, Akhil, are these numbers. Look at his record as T20 captain, T20
Hmm.
internationals, 67, 68%. But look at domestic T20, which is all league cricket, and the 100. His
Hmm.
team finished last in the 100, Akhil. He's got a 25%, less than a 25% win percentage.
Wow, these are interesting stats. Again, they clearly prove that you might be a great captain in the white ball format, international format, but that is not necessarily transforming into being a successful captain at the franchise level. And we saw that with Virat Kohli also, isn't it?
Yes, and there was one interview I heard a few days ago. I can't recall which player that was, who was asked to pick who's the better captain, Morgan or Dinesh Karthik, and the player actually chose Dinesh Karthik. So it tells
Yes.
you that on Morgan as Kolkata captain isn't necessarily working. At the England team level, at the international level, he's got the resources. He understands players better.
Yeah.
Not below that.
All right, lovely. We spoke about some interesting numbers and stats today. So before we wrap up now, who's the team that you're backing? Give us that insight.
Red, red. Bangalore. How much ever I can criticize Virat Kohli for the right reasons, I'm still a Bangalorean. I will support Bangalore today.
Okay, you're going for Bangalore. I'm picking Kolkata purely because I want Andre Russell to come into the tournament and start firing with those sixes. And I want them to start moving up the points table, make it a little interesting for the fourth team to qualify in the playoffs. So Kolkata for me, Bangalore for Arun. Let's watch the game and let's all come back and watch more of Time Out with Sports Adda.